In this video, we are going to talk about the unit circle and radian measure. Radian measure. Okay, so let's define what a unit circle is. Okay, so uh, unit circle is a circle of radius 1 unit. Okay, is of radius 1 unit. Now, let's consider the unit circle in the Cartesian plane. Let's say this is my x and this is my y. If I draw a unit circle centered at the origin here is 0, 0, then let's say this is my circle. Okay. This circle will intersect the x-axis, the y-axis at this point. This is 1 unit, so this point A here is 1, 0. And we have this point B here is x is 0 and y is 1. And point C here, we have negative 1 to the left and then y is 0. And point D here, we have x is 0 and y is negative 1. Okay, so the circle has intersected the axis in points A, B, C, and D. Now, what do we know about the circumference of this circle? The circumference, you know that the formula for the circumference is 2 pi r. But then, for a unit circle, r is equal to 1. So, the whole circumference will be 2 pi, which means if you start measuring here and you go around the circle and you stop here, the length is actually 2 pi. Okay, so let me have that in red. Okay, if I have this one here, I will measure this and then I will reach this. That's the length, what? 2 pi. But notice that as you go along the unit circle, you would have traveled a central angle equivalent to how many degrees is this? One revolution, which is 360 degrees. Okay, so we are trying to say that uh, 2 pi here is equivalent to a revolution which is 360 degrees. Okay, now we will introduce definition. We will introduce this word here, radian. So we define a radian here. Let's say in this circle here of radius r, it's not radius 1. Suppose this radius is equal to r and another radius is equal to r here, then and this length here is also equal to r, then we just have defined 1 radian. So it's obvious that 1 radian is much bigger than 1 degree. When we talk about a degree, then that's actually 1 over 360th of the circumference. 1 degree is 1 over 360th of the circumference of that circle. Okay? So, since this arc here is equal to r, then we have a radian defined as the arc length. One radian measure will now be the arc S equal in length to the radius of the circle here. Okay, that's one radian. So for example, if we have this, the radius here is 1, I will measure 1 unit along the circumference and then I will enclose it, and this will be 1 radian. Okay, okay, let me have that. Suppose this one is radius 1. I will measure 1 unit along the circumference, that's 1, and then I will enclose it. This one is also 1. Then this is 1 radian. Okay? So suppose the radius of the circle is 2. 2. Then I will measure 2 units along the circumference and then I will enclose it. Okay? That will be 1 radian as well. Okay? That's 1 radian. Okay. Uh, let's see. If I am not saying that, I'm not writing here 2 pi equals 360. Obviously, they are not equal. Okay? But I'm saying 2 pi is equivalent to 360. Here, 360 is a geometric figure. 2 pi here is a length. 2 pi is actually approximately 2 times 3.14, or that is 6.28. That means in a unit circle, the length is approximately 6.28 units. Okay? So from here, I can divide, so we can say here 2 pi radians. Okay, 2 pi radians. But it's understood that if you are using pi, the unit of measure is in radians. So what happens if we divide by 2? Divide this whole thing by 2, I will get what? Pi. And on the right hand side, I will get what? 180. So 1 pi radian is actually equivalent to a revolution of 180 degrees. So since the whole unit circle is 2 pi, one half of it is 1 pi, and that's equivalent to 180 degrees. Okay? So 180 degrees. Now, the relationship between radian and degree therefore is 1 pi radian is equivalent to 180 degrees. Okay? Suppose I divide this by pi. I divide this by pi and I divide this by pi. Then I will have this conversion factor. Here, 1 is equivalent to 180 degrees all over pi. So this is one conversion factor that we will have if we want to change one unit to the other. Okay, if we want to change a radian to degree measure, then this is the conversion factor. Okay, so from radian to degree, we will have this as the conversion factor. Now again, what if I am going to divide this by 180? 180 degrees, 180 degrees. Then I will have here what? 1. This is pi over 180 degrees. So this is the conversion factor if we are going to transform what? From degree to radian measure. Okay? So suppose we want to convert 120 degrees to radians. Okay, let's see that. Suppose I want to convert 120 degrees to radians. So what you should be thinking about is the degrees should be cancelled. Okay, so uh, this should be the conversion factor. This should be the conversion factor. Degrees to radians. So let's say 120 degrees. And I want to convert that to radian measure. So I'll just multiply this by 1. Okay? And then, what is this one here? You have to choose between this one here or this one here. Now, what is our choice? if you have a degree here, your denominator should have the degree so that it will cancel off. So that means the conversion factor should be this. Okay, this should be the conversion factor. So I'm going to multiply this by pi over 180. And I can cancel this. I can cancel that. And 12 and 18, common is 6. I'll have 2 over 3 pi radians. Okay? So 120 degrees is actually equivalent to 2 pi radians. Okay? Okay? So, what about if we want to convert okay, 5 pi over 4 radians into degrees? So, I'll multiply this by a correction factor, okay, which cancels the radian, the pi. So I cannot make use of this formula. I cannot make use of this formula. I should make use of the first formula. So that will be 5 pi over 4 times what? 180 degrees all over pi. Make sure that the radian measure will cancel off. This one will cancel off with this one. Okay? And then I can cancel 4 and 180. And I will get here 225 degrees. Okay, so I'm saying here that 120 degrees is equivalent to 2 pi radians. Now, we don't have to be strict in this symbol here. I can now say 220 equals 2 pi radians, or the better form should be equivalent to 2 pi radians. And 5 pi over 4 radians is equivalent to 225 degrees. Okay? So, in this video, we just talked about how we were able to derive two units, two measures of angles. One in degree measure and the other one in radian measure. And we said that in the unit circle, the circumference 2 pi is equivalent to a central angle generated one revolution, so 360. Okay, so for this lesson, you just have to remember the conversion factor, 180 degree over pi or pi over 180 degrees, whichever conversion you want to make.